Hello, my fellow gamers. Today we take charge of a nation as we oversee its urbanization in the game 20th century. We are tasked with reducing garbage and pollution, managing our commerce and science as we compete over land and technologies, trying to enhance the standards of living as we stride towards a land where the environment is as healthy as the economy. This one is medium complexity, plays 3 to 5 with a reasonable 2-player variant out there as well, with this taking up to about 2 hours, and we have the designer of this being an earlier title of his alongside greats such as Shipyard, Woodcraft, Pulsar, 2849 to name but a few, and we have the publisher as well. Some of the mechanisms in this one include auction bidding and tile placement. Let's go and run this nation then.
Okay, so we have a 3-player setup here. We're kind of mid-games, a few bits going on. And what have we got going on? The main board here. We've got the land tiles we're going to be auctioning off, and depending on how many players, will be how many that are coming out to purchase. Once you've acquired them, you'll have the chance to get these technologies as well, and it's going to cost you science. So using money to acquire these, science to acquire these. Once everyone is dropped out, you'll then go to the catastrophe phase, which will go through. Once you've done that, you will be upkeeping your areas and using various technologies and adding these lands to your region and your country. And then you'll have a chance to produce. You can see each of your player boards here. You're going to be keeping track of your income, your science, your victory points. And depending where your token is here is how environmentally friendly your nation is. And you maybe get loads of points, negative points, and each land tile at the end, depending on where you are on this track, will determine how many victory points you're going to get if there's no garbage on it. And you really want to avoid all this garbage. Okay, so once you've done that, you're then going to move around. You can see there's 5 rounds. Once you finish the 5th round, it's kind of like a bonus phase here, round 6, and we'll go through that. So the first thing we are doing, you can see this player's in this little circle here. They are going to go first dibs on one of these tiles. Let's say they randomly go for this one. Now, the main currencies in the game are a combination of money, you've got science, and you've got these victory points, which basically represent the standard of living. And some tiles have these sort of little cities and towns there. Some have the capability to recycle. So you'll be putting your populace on. You can see some already here for the blue player, and this determines your production and how you're going to get rid of garbage. So they're going to place this one up for bid first. So they pop it down here, and the yellow player is like, right, minimum bid is 3. In the first 2 rounds, it's 2, then it's 3, and then it goes up to 4 in the 5th round. So like, right, I'm going to start off with a bid of 5. Going clockwise, and the reds are like 6, the blues are like 7, the yellows are like, that's too rich for me, I'm going to pass. Now, if you decide to pass, you can carry on in future auctions here, or you may decide to drop out. Now, let's say yellow have already acquired a couple of tiles and they want to drop out. Now, the importance of that is you move down to here and you can then acquire one of these technologies at the cost here of 4 science. So they've paid 4 science, they acquire this one, and this is going to give them, a bump up of 2 flowers, which is a 2 movement on this one here. Let's set it at 0, and they're going to have an immediate benefit. A white outline is a kind of one-time use, so that's gone. Now, the other 2 players are remaining, so yellow are out. I think it was it red who had the highest bid? No, it was blue, wasn't it? Blue. So red don't want to bid anymore. They pass, which means they can continue to bid on future land tiles. So blue pay their money, and you start the game with a load of science in your hand and a load of money, and you can see the backs are all the same, so it's top secrets to what you have spent. They pay their money to the supply. They acquire this tile, and you add it. Blues over here, you can see they're going to put it not on their region just yet, just outside their region. They're going to take one of these sort of populace, which represents your population, and they're going to take 1 garbage. Now, the first tile you acquire in the auction, you get 1 garbage. The second tile is 2 garbage. The third tile is 3 garbage, and so on. Now, the blues won the auction, so they get to pick what they do next. Are they going to put another land tile up for auction? Are they going to pass, or are they going to drop out? Now, you should add, every time you buy a tile, it reminds you here that you reduce the cost of science for purchasing one of these technologies. So maybe they're like, right, you know what, I want to go for this one here. And they're going to start the bid at 3. Yellow is no longer able to participate. So red's like 4, blue's like 5. They win it again. Red have passed. So they acquire this. They put it next to their region. And again, they take one of these tokens here. You don't decide where it goes just yet. But they're getting 2 population this time. Blue won that auction. Now back around to them. And they're like, right, yep, I am definitely dropping out. So they pop down here. And remember, that goes down when they buy a tile. They're now paying 2 science out of their hands. So boom, that goes to the supply. And they're going to go for this one here. Now you keep this just next to you for now. And you can see they're going to get a bridge. They're also going to have a train, which is a movement capability. And there's only reds left. So reds are like, right, I can have all of these if I want. And it's a minimum bid of 3. So they're going to take that one. They're going to pay 3. They're going to put it in front of them. Add one of these on here. And add 1 garbage because it's their first tile. Maybe they're going to take the next one, pay a minimum of 3 again, but this time it's going to have 2 garbage on. This one, if they take it, it's going to have 3 garbage in. So maybe they're like, you know what, I don't want all that garbage. I'm equally going to pass. Well, not pass, I'm going to drop out. Now, the last person to drop out will go on this little spot here. And remember, they're going to take one of these technologies. Now, these technologies, there's a host of them. Some of them are known as institutions. So these you can actually bolt on. And they don't produce anything themselves, but they increase the capabilities of other ones if they are connected. So if I budge these out of the way, eventually, if you manage to get this here, you can see it's not actually connected to that rail network, which is why these bridges are excellent. You can put a bridge there, all of a sudden that's connected up, and this town here has a bolster from 2 science now to 4. So you have to be really mindful where you place these. If you put that there, you see it connects up. So this little town is now a production of 3 science. And there's a host of these. There's some that bring out money, some that bring out victory points. So that's institutions. There's some that have trains which allow you to move. So if you acquire this and you do your upkeep later, you can move this populace from one town to the other. Maybe you don't want the money and the science. Maybe you want the recycling capabilities. There's also the bridges I've shown you. And there's a host of other goodness in there. So everyone's acquired a technology. We then go to the catastrophe phase. Now, red player is first, and you can see this sort of catastrophe here. We'll get a bit of a close-up. So depending on the player count, you'll only use certain columns. Now, in a free-play game, you're going to use this first column, which means if you win it, you are going to take no damage, no garbage, and none of these nasty skulls. If you end up in this column, you're getting 1 skull. If you get the full wrath, you're going to get 1 skull and 3 garbage. How is this going to work then? Reds are first up, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to go there. So that means I'm going to pay 6 science to acquire no effects from this catastrophe. But hold on, blue's up, and they're like, no chance, red. I'm going to go 8. Yellow's up, and they're like, right, I can't even afford to go up on 8 to 9. I'm going to go for this column here for 0. Now, you come back around, and reds are like, okay, well, that should have been clockwise. I should bear that in mind. So red, then blue, and then yellow, which is right. So if someone is in front of you, which reds do have someone in front of them, they have to then move. So they can either go higher on this column, higher on that column, or they could just go 0 on the end column, which they're not going to do. They're going to outbid yellows. It comes back around blues. There's no one ahead of blues. So yellows, and yellows have got someone ahead. So they're like, right, am I going to go higher than blue again? Am I going to go higher than red? Or am I just going to go for the 0, which means I'm paying 0 science, but I'm taking all these nasty effects. Once everyone has their own unique column, that is it. These guys pay 8. They get no consequences. They pay 3 and they move down 1 on this track here. And yellows are moving 1 down there and they're taking a load of garbage, which they are then going to add to here. And you'll see the benefits, well, the disadvantages of that momentarily. So everyone has done the catastrophe. Now, the person who took the full brunt of the force will come back up here and they will be first on the next round on the bid and the land tiles. And everyone else goes there. We now go to the upkeep and technology phase. So I've kind of made a right mess up here, but basically you're then going to get to add these new tiles. Now, any garbage you've acquired on that specific tile, so we acquired 1 for that and 2 for that because we had 2 tiles, they have to stay on there. If you acquired any more garbage from other locations, you're going to have to pick and choose what tiles these go on from the new ones. Maybe like, right, both going on here. You then add these to your original region. So, they can go any orientation. They can go on the corner. They can go adjacent. You don't have to connect up these railway tracks, but it's kind of beneficial to doing so. So we're going to put this one here, and let's just plonk where we're going to go. This one here maybe, because we've already got that rail there for some random reason. So we have added everything on. If you've got any technology, so this one, you've got a bridge, you can use that bridge one time only in the game. If you've got a train, you can use that once per upkeep phase. So maybe you're like, right, yeah, I want to move this one back here. Now, as you add tiles on, you're going to be moving your production. So if you've added a tile that gives you 2 more income, you bump that one up. If it's less science because you've used a train to move something, that goes down. So you're going to be moving these, the income, the science, and the victory points. And then you get a chance to go over to production and recycling. So you're going to get paid out all this. You're going to get given all your money in those cards, the science, and you're going to add up your victory points around here. Then you get a chance to recycle. Now, looking at the blue players board here, any recycling unit that has one of these little tokens is going to allow you the capability to get rid of some of this garbage. Now, it's 1 garbage per upkeep phase per recycling unit. So this one can get rid of one of this garbage off the tile it is on, or an adjacent tile if it's connected by a railway. So we're just going to take this one here, done. This, they've got no more recycling units, but let's just assume this one was there. They could utilize this as well. There's no garbage on here, no garbage on adjacent, and there is garbage here, and it's connected, so great, we could get rid of that one. Now let's just say it was like that. You can see we're at a dead end. We can't actually get rid of this garbage unless the bridge was here. Now, bridges can't traverse tiles. They have to be on one tile as a whole. So that's fine. It's connected to this recycle one. So on a future round, we could get rid of that as well. So that's recycling. And remember, getting rid of your rubbish is vital, because at the end of the game, you can see some of the scoring depending on where the track is on here. So let's just assume the yellow players are up here. You're going to get 4 victory points for each tile without rubbish. But I'll go through all that momentarily. So where are we? We have done production, we've done recycling, we end the round. Now at the end of round 2 and round 4, there's some bonuses. You get extra double victory points for that one. You get some victory points for recycle units and your income. Eventually, after 5 rounds, you will get to round 6. Now at the end of each round, you're going to fill up these again, fill up your technologies. As you go through the rounds, you potentially, moving this over, and it's going to get more expensive to acquire these technologies. There is freeze and falls here with loads of different institutions and extra things that bring out workers. They give you instant benefits of moving up this track here. Some bring garbage out. Some allow you to spend science, in this case, to get one of those on each upkeep phase. So loads of different things going on there. But eventually, you get to round 6 and you don't do another auction for land. You don't do technologies and you don't do catastrophe. What you do is get another chance to upkeep. So you might get rid, use some of these technologies, get a bridge you might not have utilised out, maybe move something with your train to then get more victory points. You will then do a production. Now, you only get victory points on the last round. You ain't getting any more money and science. And then you'll get a chance to recycle. And then we go to final scoring. So the player with the most money in their hand is going to get 8 points, and then 5 points for second, depending on how your player count is. You're then going to get points equally for science as well. Whoever has the most gets some points. Now, back to these boards. So if you manage to end up here, you're going to get 4 victory points for each tile. So let's say these guys, this is how it ended. They're going to get 4 points for this tile because there's no garbage. And this one's 4 points. Let's just assume this one had 1 and this one had 2. Now, if you got just the 1 garbage, it's neutralised, so it's getting 0 points. For every garbage that you have after that 1, it's going to get you -5. So that's going to be -5. Let's just assume, you had another one on there. That's -10, then -15, and so on. Now, the value of those lands, you can see, as you're environmentally friendly in your economy, you're going to get, more points here. As you're down here, you're going to get only 3 points for each empty tile and 2 points. And then eventually, you will add on any points you've acquired from here. So if you're on 26, you're going to get those. If you're really far down here and you've got a polluted environment, you're going to get -15. Whoever has the most victory points is the winner. Now, there's loads of institutions. You can see this one's going to bring out, bolster up of your various locations that are connected that have those science symbols. If you don't manage to acquire any land tiles, it's compensation as well, whatever the minimum bid plus a 2. Now let's just show you a few more tiles that we've got some round 5s added somewhere. Where are we? So here's a few of the round 5 of the land tiles. You can see they've got loads more victory points on. Let's get you a closer up, some more victory points. You've got a double recycle, which could be great. Loads of money, loads of science, more victory points. So loads of nice things on some of the 5s there. And equally, the technologies as well. You can see some have hospitals that are going to give you victory points when they're connected up. You can spend 4 money to get VPs, money to get rid of garbage. You can get rid of garbage and get one of those flower symbols. Trains, you can turn your science to get rid of garbage as well. So loads of juicy things there. Most points wins. Enjoy.